I just watched a whole video about what's his name? The guy that plays the Joker that plays Luke.
Mark Hamill.
He just shitting on the Jedi thing. He was like it was the video I think was called the many times Mark Hamill tried to warn us about The Last Jedi.
Yeah, he did it a lot.
Yeah.
But Disney's like, no.
Like, stop it.
Bad boy.
He's like, they're like, so are you going to have more action in the last movie? He's like, well, I just stood there. So yes, but.
Yeah.
But.
Who knows? Maybe that'll be rectified in the Rise of Skywalker. They'll make him a crazy, kooky fighting ghost.
They're breaking all the rules.
They're breaking all the rules. Like us. We just inadvertently started the podcast.
Let's just...
Bibbidi bobbidi boo, bitches. Welcome to the Powerful Nerdcast. And today we're going to be talking about a lot of nerdy shit, as we usually do. The latest chapter of Dragon Ball Super just dropped, which is pretty damn exciting.
Yeah,
We've been
just
waiting
read
for
it.
that one.
Just read it. Very excited.
And we're also going to be talking about all this Star Wars shit. Christian, I know you're kind of a casual fan of Star Wars, so we're not going to talk about that long. Mostly we're going to stay on the Dragon Ball course right now. So let's just go ahead and jump into this chapter right now.
Let us gather all the balls.
Yes. Moro is definitely playing with a lot of his balls in this chapter.
More like Namekian nuts. Anyway, guys, so yeah, the new chapter dropped. It was awesome. I really like it because obviously at the end they bring in Majin Buu, and he seems to be immune to all of Moro's like powers, essentially. That's like the big reveal. And it makes sense because they mentioned Buu quite a few times, I think, or at least twice in the last chapter. And then two, it's because Buu absorbed the person that beat him last time.
The Lord of Lords.
What a weird naming structure in Dragon Ball. Like,
yeah. It also depends on what translation you're reading.
Yeah, that. Plus, but he was a Kai.
Yeah.
But he's the Lord of Lord Kais. But he wasn't the most powerful Kai. There was the big buff Kai who was technically more strong than him, but didn't have as many magical powers as him. But he's the Lord of Lords, but there's other Kais that are stronger than him.
It's almost like they're making this shit up as they go.
Look, I guess I should just accept that, but I'm like, they need to get this Kai structure shit in order, and then they'll have me on board a little more. Also, I know nothing about that character. The only way I know is that his character design is kind of like Buu's, and that's why Buu sort of became neutral and less evil because he absorbed a super good being, you know. And also, if he's so good with magic, how come he lost to Majin Buu, but yet was able to defeat this super more powerful guy named Moro? Don't get into that.
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
It's like they're making it up as they go.
Now, to be fair, of course, Moro technically came before Majin Buu, and when this guy actually was able to seal him away, it technically got rid of a lot of his power, which meant when Majin Buu finally did come around, he wasn't as strong as he was originally.
Oh, so he sealed away some of his own power to seal away Moro.
Yeah, he actually became less powerful after...
I don't remember that. I must have not had a scene where someone was punching and kicking, so I skipped that part.
Exactly. The thing is, though, like, power scaling in Dragon Ball also doesn't make sense. Like, Goku and Vegeta, like, one punch from them should have, like, completely rocked Moro's world, but then fucking Maris appears in this chapter and pretty much just throws him into a plastic garbage bag and is managing to capture him. So, really, power scaling means shit in this series.
They're really fucking with the whole structure of Dragon Ball Z with this, because they're saying that, oh, now there's this technology stuff. They're doing what Boruto's doing with all that technological stuff, and they're really warping how these characters have worked really hard to build their natural abilities. Whoops, some scientist invented some magic plastic bag that we can shove you in, and maybe I shouldn't get mad. I mean, for God's sakes, they have a rice cooker that can seal you away in that show.
Exactly.
So maybe I shouldn't get that far down that road.
Bringing logic into Dragon Ball is ridiculous. I mean, look at Goku taking a direct punch from Jiren and not even wincing, but Bulma shoots him with a gun in the head and he actually gets hurt. Like,
he was super powered up for the Jiren, and then if he's not super powered up, he can get
is
hurt.
that how it works?
Yes.
When they're not, like, you know, flexing their Super Saiyan powers and everything, they're basically vulnerable to really silly comedy slapstick stuff.
That's why Goku got defeated by the laser pistol in Resurrection.
That's true.
Because he wasn't powered up.
That's true, which a lot of people took issue with, but I guess you're right. I guess when he's, like, not paying attention and not powering himself up.
If his intent is not to block it, it's almost like they've never gotten into it, but it's essentially like he has an invisible force field up when his power is really high. You know?
It's kind of like flexing a muscle, or it's like in One Piece where they have the armament hockey. It's just this, you can't actually, like, see it physically change on their body. Just when they power up to that state, they're Superman. You know, bullets will not penetrate them.
Yeah, I mean, and look at armament. Honestly, if you look at One Piece hockey powers, they're like Dragon Ball Z powers, just way better defined. One, Goku can sense where the bad guys are and where they're coming from. And then you look at hockey, you can make your hand stronger if you have all that power orbs around it and stuff like that. And you punch someone. It's kind of like that. The hockey is the better defined version of Dragon Ball Z powers.
Yeah, it's also the national sport of Canada, so it's really great stuff.
Heck.
But getting back on this chapter, some other little interesting things here. Yeah, I made it funny. Apparently Moro does have the ability to inherently sense the Dragon Balls, which is a pretty rare ability for a lot of characters in the series. In fact, I really can't think of too many that actually have that ability.
Do Goku and Vegeta have that ability?
No, they need the Dragon
always
Radar.
Have Dragon Radars.
Yeah, they're always around Bulma, and she always has a Dragon Radar.
Well,
is there a reason why he's able to do that? Because they're based on magic?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, nail on the head.
They're magical. He's magical. Boo's magical. Goku and Vegeta don't matter anymore. The world's spinning upside down. There's a rice cooker that can seal you. None of it makes
Back
more
to
sense.
the rice cooker. Why don't they use that? Why don't they use the Mafuba technique?
Someone destroyed it.
Well, it's not that they destroyed it. It's just, even I believe in the Tournament of Power it was used.
Yeah, but didn't someone destroy it?
Not really. I mean, it doesn't matter. You can literally, as long as it's something that like seals properly, you can use the Mafuba technique.
Like you could get an Instapot off Amazon.
Pretty much, yeah. Just throw and make goat stew out of the motherfucker. Like that's all you have to do. But yeah, this chapter also, again, it was real simple. It was basically just Goku and Vegeta waking up after getting their asses handed to them and realizing, oh shit, Moro's going around collecting the Dragon Balls. He already gets 6 immediately by going around and just fucking up all of the Namekians. And then suddenly out of nowhere, Maris just appears with Majin Buu and they finally start to fight. And what's interesting is, and this is of course Dragon Ball logic yet again, apparently they have a hypnotist on staff at the Galactic Patrol and they were able to do that to inherently bring out the memories of that Supreme Kai within Majin Buu.
Oh, you know what that is? That's when you dig up someone, way up someone's ass, and you pull something out of it.
I think they call it an ass pull. Ass pull, yeah,
yes,
ass pull.
Exactly.
I don't mind ass pulls in Dragon Ball because that's kind of like the bread and butter of the entire series.
Hunter. If you wrecked the whole structure of Hunter x Hunter's
No, if this were Hunter x Hunter, there'd be 3 pages of fucking dialogue and like a character
explaining what the hypnotist
desperately trying to fight their way past that word balloon. Hey, look at me. God, I swear, they might as well just turn that into a novel at this point.
With a picture, remember when there were books, but there was just a few pages in the center that had pictures?
Remember books?
Yeah, remember books? Remember books?
Yeah, those were a thing. That's what Hunter x Hunter has turned into, but that's beside the point.
There's also some character development we're skipping over. One is Vegeta.
Without a shadow of a doubt,
Vegeta.
Without a shadow of a doubt, Vegeta is the most developed character in all of Dragon Ball. He's gone through the most changes, and he's
fallen back and then came back. He's gone up and down. He really has developed. It wasn't like I'm evil, now I'm good. It's like he struggled through that transition.
But ever since that bingo dance, Vegeta has become a completely different. Love it or hate it, he's become a different character and has ultimately turned into a hero. In some ways, more of a hero than Goku is. And that's a common misconception. A lot of people are like, Goku's Japanese Superman. No, he's not. Goku just really loves to fight powerful things. Vegeta now actually legitimately seems to want to make up for the sins of his past.
Yes.
And he wants to help out Planet Namek. He even has a talk with that old Namek. He's like, hey, do you guys hold grudges? Like, nah, man, we just sit around all day and sipping water. That's all we fucking do.
Yeah.
And they're cool with that. But it shows that Vegeta actually wants to make up for everything that he's done. And he's a completely different character. And in fact, like you said, you know, he was good. And then he was bad, he was good, then he was bad again, then he was good. I mean, look at the character arc of Vegeta and how much has changed. Of
course, way more in depth than any other character.
Seriously.
Unless it's Pilaf.
Unless it's Pilaf, who's also had a surprising amount of development. But yeah, Vegeta is just a really well fleshed out character in Super, and has probably been one of my favorite things about the entire brand new part of the franchise. You can chalk it up to the fact that this is new storytelling after being on an extreme hiatus since the 90s, and the sentimentalities of those writers and Vegeta has changed. But it's a big deal for the character.
Well, you can also say he was supposed to be the bad guy for a while. And then he played that role, and then what do we do with this guy now? Is he just the angry solo dude in the corner that just helps them as an anti-hero? And they're like, no, we got to give him way more development than that. And then he went back to, after the Majin arc, he went back to being evil for a minute, and then he realized that's not what I want. And now he's actually, it's not that he's good, he's now more good. every time we meet him, we understand that
it's almost jarring.
Yeah, it really is.
To be perfectly honest.
Yeah, when he was just like, Goku, make sure top priority is fix his planet,
Yeah.
And it's like, Goku didn't care about that.
That's not at all. All he wants to know is where's the bad guy so I can beat him up and when's fucking lunchtime.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's all that matters.
No, don't get me wrong. Goku doesn't like injustice to go on around
No,
him,
true. No,
but
of course
he does not seek out to solve injustice.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
It's more of a matter of convenience for him. He's there. There's a bad guy. I might beat him up.
Yeah.
But Vegeta is now actively being like, kind of a typical hero, which is really cool for his character. In many ways, it's good motivation for Goku as well. That being said, I don't think...
I'm just waiting for the haircut and the mustache. When's that part of the series kick in?
Oh, God. Hopefully never. I don't want them to bring in that GT crap right now, man. But let's get back to Majin Buu versus Maris, which they start the fight
Moro
in this...
or Maris?
Moro.
Okay, because I get names wrong all the time.
Yeah, there's
so
Majin Buu, Moro, and Maris. Like, there's a lot of M's here. But Moro versus Majin Buu. They pretty much start their fight in this chapter, and it's pretty standard stuff. Just, jumping around, punching and kicking. But Majin Buu, for the most part, seems to be on top of everything here.
Well, it makes sense. Majin Buu's biggest weakness was his inability to concentrate on the goals. And that is no longer the problem. And you're now seeing that Majin Buu has no problem defeating almost anyone. Mm-hmm. Probably some of the only people he couldn't defeat is Beerus because, one, he's so strong, and two, his attacks are so good at destroying physical objects that his body's regenerative powers, I don't think, would be as much of a benefit. But since Moro is just physically attacking him, that doesn't really bother him.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have to fight fire with fire. He's going to have to use magic to fight back against him.
Yeah.
And let's face it, this is the beginning of the fight. Moro is almost certainly going to do something even crazier in the next chapter to be able to combat Majin Buu.
Then he's going to just create a huge solar flare type thing and get away for now and then re-establish. Because I think what needs to happen is they need to get away from this fight. They need to get away from this planet, away from this fight, and maybe the good guys will stick around long enough to grab the rest of the Dragon Balls and wish everything back. But for the most part, I think that we need to break this up and regroup. There's no way this whole arc is going to stay on this planet during this fight.
No, especially with a character like Moro, whose entire shtick is that he devours other planets.
That and the Galactic Patrol is now playing a huge part in this arc. So we got to go back to their home base and get more development there, and then maybe get some of the Z fighters involved, maybe go see Beerus. Like, the Beerus introduction is a whole nother thing. Whis deciding if this is important enough to tell the other gods or the father priest. Is that his name? Whatever, the main priest.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that could happen here, but we got to get away from this fight. And whether or not Buu wins, I don't really think matters.
No, I will say it is refreshing to finally see a non-Saiyan actually get some spotlight here.
Well, yeah. Like I said, they're breaking all the rules, though, with all these new ways to fight. So I'm kind of excited to see what that goes.
I mean, if anything, the future of Dragon Ball could be like just an excuse to, we're still going to see Goku and Vegeta. They're still like the stars of the series, but this is a good opportunity to bring in all those side characters, give them some relevance to actually do something.
Yep.
And I loved how they treated Majin Buu throughout Dragon Ball Super, still establishing that, yes, he is, I'd still say, Goku, the Warriors from Earth, Goku, Vegeta, Majin Buu.
What about 17?
17. Well, you're right. 17 is pretty damn strong,
like
too.
It's like 17 Majin Buu. They're like the same.
And I mean, if 17 is that strong, 18 definitely has the potential to become that strong.
I think 18 doesn't train.
No.
She's kind of like, I think it was always known that 17 was stronger than 18. I don't quite know. We're getting into some lore.
Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation right there. But yeah, I hope to see more from this. I hope to see. You remember in Dragon Ball Super when Majin Buu actually did some training and he became like thin Majin Buu?
Super buff, yeah.
Yeah, maybe we could see that potentially return. I don't know how that would work, if it's like a form he can simply transform into, or he literally does have to work out again in order to make that happen. I'm not sure. The fact that he can contort his body and still do all those things, like even Moro, does the thing again where, he puts his fist like right through his body, but of course it doesn't do shit to Majin Buu.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You can't hurt Majin Buu with physical attacks unless you literally beat the shit out of him for like 20 minutes and then it finally starts to take his energy away, essentially, because you can beat him through endurance, but you can't beat him through just a blank physical attack.
I have another question for you. So Majin Buu now has kind of like the personality of the old Supreme Kai, the Lord of Lords. Is it actually Majin Buu just like talking through him? Like, is it going to be the Majin Buu voice, or is that literally the Lord of Lords' actual like personality in the body of Majin Buu?
I'm pretty sure it's just Majin Buu, but channeling that person he's absorbed. That's my intention of it, because it's still, I'd have to read the chapter again. We're like 30 minutes since we've read the chapter.
Yeah, I mean, this is fresh. Like, it just came out. And remember, again, you can read
Just
this
like
for free
that,
at Viz Media.
Just like that a Star Wars trailer when we released the podcast last time.
Yeah.
The Star Wars trailer came out.
We'll get into that in a second.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, it was a pretty simple chapter. It was exciting. I love that Majin Buu is becoming relevant again. I loved the action at the end. I still love the way that Moro fights by channeling the energy of the planet. And they do refer to it as flames in this chapter, but that could be a mistranslation. I'm just going to chalk it up to...
Maybe it seems like he's pulling like lava energy.
That's what I originally thought it was, but it's kind of hard to say until we actually maybe get a color version or the possibility of the anime returning and getting an adaptation of this arc, which I can already see them, if they do this arc in the anime, they're going to extend a lot of things here.
Or they're just going to wait till they're way farther along before they release it. Like I feel like maybe they're just going to let the manga get ahead.
Yeah.
Because even if they are drawing it right now, they're not going to be done for a while. So anyway, I'm not that sure about the anime aspect of this.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that. Who isn't?
Yeah.
But I don't really have much to say about that, unfortunately.
And the character of Maris, in the last podcast I was mentioning, maybe he's actually a bad guy. I have some doubts about that now. In this chapter, he seemed like he had good intention of actually wanting to help Goku and Vegeta. Why would he bring Majin Buu here otherwise?
Because it's all part of the plan.
It's all part of the plan to get the Dragon Balls?
Who knows?
Who knows? Is Moro, you actually think, going to get the 7th Dragon Ball and make his wish and become even more powerful and then leave the planet after this?
No, I think he already achieved that goal by sucking up Vegeta and Goku's energy.
But he still wants... I mean, he's pretty powerful right now, but just imagine what he would be like in his prime. Like, they're not going to dangle that in front of us and not give us that, I think.
No, they always follow through.
Yeah, they do.
Vegeta, no. Frieza always gets his final form.
Cell
gets his final form.
Yep, Majin Buu went through like a million fucking forms.
No one punches Goku in the nuts before he turns Super Saiyan.
Exactly.
Everyone gets their final form
exactly.
in this show. So yes, we will see his final
We will
form.
see it, whether it be through the Namekian Dragon Balls or, maybe maybe the Dragon Balls will get taken away and he'll realize, wait, there are other Dragon Balls on Earth?
Yeah.
That's where I'm heading next.
Yeah. But that he's totally fucked if he does that because Beerus ain't going to let his desert island.
That's the only way they'll convince Beerus to do something.
Yeah.
Like, Moro just came to Earth. And did Whis even mention the name Moro to Beerus? I wonder if that'll have any meaning for him.
Whis went out of his way not to tell him things.
Yeah.
He's like, the planet's losing energy. He's like, good.
Like, if this Moro guy is such a big deal, I'd like to hear what the Gods of Destruction have to say about him. Like, would they actually acknowledge his existence as something that's a big deal? Or is it just another, fly on the wall for them they could smack?
Now seeing Moro get whooped around, I feel like he does have weaknesses. Mm-hmm. It's just they weren't playing to them when Goku and Vegeta were fighting him. Mm-hmm. And so I still think a God of Destruction could probably beat him.
Almost certainly. And we still haven't really even seen the Gods of Destruction really going fully all out. So, and I still have a personal theory, which is kind of out there and kind of strange.
Okay.
My theory is that Moro actually is a previous God of Destruction. And due to his ability to learn how to consume planets as opposed to simply destroying them and making himself even stronger, he was banished from being a god of destruction.
Oh, because he was doing things for his own gain instead of for the universe's potential.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
And like I said, he's an anthropomorphic animal. Half of the gods of destruction are just like him.
So are half the people on
Earth.
So.
On Earth, that's true. Which
there are dog people everywhere.
They never fully explain all that stuff, but it's true.
There are T-Rexes that talk.
Pretty much, yeah.
Wait, do they talk? Maybe not. But they make noises and share their emotions.
They're fucking cartoon characters.
They're like...
On that note, do you have any other final thoughts about this chapter? What you hope to see in the future?
I just want to see the next chapter. Come on, bring it on. Don't make me wait 30 days.
Well, you're going to have to.
Fuck.
That's the way it works.
That's it.
All right. So Christian mentioned earlier that last week when we did our podcast, we recorded it, we got it edited, we got it all done, we uploaded it. And
as
literally, right as we're uploading, they release the big trailer for Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. Christian, I know you're not a super huge Star Wars fan. You're casual at best. But like, are you even feeling any sort of excitement for this movie at all? I mean, you know my feelings about Star Wars, but I want to hear from you.
I thought the trailer looked good.
Yeah.
I thought it was well shot.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that the anticipation they build with these trailers is good. Mm-hmm. And the one thing I don't mind right now is that most of the time, whenever you get all these build up in these trailers because they're really good at not telling you the story, but they show you some of the conflicts that may be happening in the movies.
Unless it's the trailer for the Dark Phoenix, in which they show you fucking everything.
Or that new Rock movie.
Or that new Rock, the Shobbs and Haw.
I was going to say
or Hobbs and Shaw. I don't know.
Calvin and Hobbs, whatever it's fucking called. You can watch that whole damn movie in 3 minutes through that trailer. They literally show you every fucking act of that film. They show you everything. I'm getting back to Star Wars now.
Yeah.
So, the anticipation shows me what some of the conflicts are going to be, so I like that. I also think they've picked a really good style. I don't know how to describe it. It's like that voiceover narrative thing they do in their trailers. It feels like a Star Wars thing.
It's very smart to use Luke Skywalker to do that, too.
Because the fans are like, please put him in more.
I know. That's all we wanted from Last Jedi, and they totally fucked us.
Yeah, and then I don't really care about Rey and Kylo Ren's conflict, though.
No?
I will tell you, as a person that has enjoyed these films for the most part, I don't really care about their conflict. Like, they don't strike me, and maybe this is on purpose, they don't strike me as a stereotypical archetype of good versus evil. They just don't strike me like that. They strike me as confused people that are figuring it out. And maybe Kylo Ren leans a little more evil.
I think them being those type of characters is kind of like directed at the current generation of younger kids, though.
They're fucking representation of millennials, bro.
Yeah, they're all confused. They don't know who they are.
Yeah, okay, I get that. Fuck. Does it belong in my Star Wars movies, though? I don't know.
That's debatable.
Okay, look, they had to make it more realistic. They had to make more women powerful in this series. Disney had to Disneyfy it. But the thing is, I think they're losing the... Why was Star Wars good? Because it is an archetype of a hero's journey, yet now they're clouding it up with current concepts. And we're losing some of the story arc that I feel like that was supposed to be there, and it's clouded. It's confusing. It has more depth maybe, but less interesting.
Well, that's an interesting point because the original Star Wars movies, even though they were made in the 1970s, they are a product of their times, but they're a timeless type of story.
Yeah, like
it's
a
the type of
samurai
thing,
hero story.
Yeah, it's the type of thing you could watch 50 years from now, and the story and everything will still have relevance.
It's The Last Samurai.
Yeah, not exactly, not exactly. But like the modern stories very much are a reflection of modern times in very many ways, especially with the characters of Rey and Kylo Ren. And I'm kind of in agreement with you as someone who grew up watching these movies. The whole Rey and Kylo Ren thing doesn't really do that much for me. Like when I was seeing that trailer,
I like watching Poe way more than I like them.
I mean, Poe's okay too. You know, I like him, but like, you know, when that trailer came out, you know, it opens up, of course, with Rey and Kylo Ren, and a really cool shot, and it's really exciting and everything. But like, the thing that rocked my jollies was seeing Billy D. Williams as Lando Calrissian.
To me, that borderline just feels like empty fan service.
It is empty fan service, but man, like that's another one of those characters that we wanted to see return. And you know what's great about him?
Why?
He's Lando. He's not different. He's not jaded. He's not a sad motherfucker who's probably going to get killed. It's just Lando Calrissian. Han Solo came back. What is he? He's a failed father who's now a space pirate, and he has a really shitty attitude about everything, despite the fact that he helped save the frickin' whole galaxy.
Failed husband.
Failed husband, failed family, everything. Luke Skywalker, he's a fucking hermit who gave up on hope and everything else that he completely represented. Leia, she's mostly in the background. But Lando Calrissian, what do they show in this trailer? Lando doing what Lando does best. Having optimism, laughing, having a good time, and being a hopeful character. They captured Lando Calrissian in a few seconds more than they captured any of the other characters when they finally... You know, we wanted to see Luke come back and be the optimistic hero that never gave up on anything.
Like, he's supposed to be giving her a pep talk while she's training.
And Instead, he smacks her in the face with a stick.
Mopes around.
Drinking from the tit of a monster.
Yeah, see, here's the thing. I don't have any hard emotional connection to Luke Skywalker's character, but I can see why the fan base is like, you really abandoned what that character stood for. And yes, I understand why you did. I don't know if the fan base actually says this, but I do. I understand why you did, because you need to show it's not in a hopeful, good place. The universe is in a bad spot, and Luke Skywalker represents that. And the dark side is winning, and blah, 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 and it's all reflected in Luke Skywalker. I get it. But he's really like, you don't show Rocky and then show the trainer crying in the corner.
No.
You know, like you don't
show Mickey crying.
Yeah, Mickey's Mickey. You know, and like, so I'm just very confused by...
You gotta eat lightning and crop thunder!
Unless you're depressed, and then I'll just sit over here, I guess.
End it all!
Yeah.
Like, they took those beloved characters and they turned them into a bunch of sad motherfuckers.
It's weird.
You know,
it's really weird.
But that's what I loved about the whole Lando thing. But again, this is another one of those trailers that's like,
first of all, Lando can easily be messed up. You were holding a lot of hope in this trailer for him laughing in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon.
This is Billy D. Williams.
Yeah, but I mean, like, they could easily...
Mark Hamill's going to bow down to Disney. Billy D. Williams, they're going to say, all right, Billy, we want you to be a little darker and brooding. We don't want you to be as optimistic. He's going to go, nah, that's not happening. I'm Billy D. fucking Williams. I was Harvey Dent. Like, none of that shit's going to... Billy D. This is going to be classic Lando. It has to be.
I think they're going to try to resurrect some classic, but it's like, what the fuck are they going to do with Luke Skywalker? Because if he's a happy-go-lucky ghost, it's like, whoa, okay, I got it. Now you're trying to do Luke Skywalker, right?
Is Luke really dead?
I don't care.
That's the big thing about this trailer is the big line. No one's ever really gone.
If he's not dead, it doesn't really matter because he's going to be in the fucking movie.
Yeah.
You know?
And that goes in line, too. Like, one of the most cryptic things about this trailer is not so much the imagery, it's two important things. One, it's the title, The Rise of Skywalker. Everybody has their interpretation about that. Everybody has their theory. Most of them are the same. Some people saying that this means Luke could potentially return. Some people saying that Rey is actually going to become a Skywalker. Maybe it refers to Kylo Ren. The title itself is the perfect type of J.J. Abrams cryptic bullshit that he's always been known for. And while it's not my favorite thing in the world, man, it is a really great hook for getting people into theaters.
So Skywalker is a last name,
yes.
Not a title?
No, it's just Luke Skywalker, Anakin Skywalker, the Skywalkers.
The
this Sunday on CBS.
Starks, Greyjoys.
Yeah, okay. Exactly.
It's
like,
all just a name.
So many people have their theories, and I honestly, I don't have a good enough one to come up with. I like the title. I can't wait to see what it's eventually going to refer to.
I don't care.
You don't care.
Trying to care.
Trying to care a little bit.
All
right, well, here's another thing that maybe you can care about, and probably the thing that most people were excited about, me included, is in the final part of the trailer, you hear a mysterious laugh, and it's none other than Emperor Palpatine himself, the evil Emperor Darth Sidious, and apparently he's going to have some type of role in this movie.
If the good guys can have Force Ghosts, why can't the bad guys have Force Ghosts?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, people have their own theories about this. Is Emperor Palpatine really a ghost? Was he really killed on the Death Star? You know, and even when they showed off this trailer,
maybe we all had a little Emperor Palpatine inside of all of us.
Maybe there's a little Darth Sidious in all of us.
Yeah, I said that.
That's what's going to be happening.
Yeah,
because they showed this trailer at a Celebration, the big Star Wars convention, and as soon as they got done showing that trailer, the actor who plays Emperor Palpatine came out on stage.
Yeah.
And he basically went into his Emperor Palpatine voice, and he's like, roll it again. And they showed the trailer, and he literally just drops the mic. Like, it was so cool. And then he's been very coy, of course. They've had a lot of conversations. And he said on record, he's like, the Emperor is dead. Or maybe he's not. I can't really say anything, but he's probably dead.
Well, look, his evil spirit influence can obviously be there within Star Wars universe, and it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, Yoda's is there.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan's is there. Mm-hmm. Why can't there be an evil red glowing dude?
Yeah, maybe the evil Force Ghost spirits will be like red. I don't know. They'll do something to differentiate it. I mean, they showed in the final shot too. Clearly, the destroyed Death Star 2 from Return of the Jedi. That's probably where his ghost resides. Maybe
because that's where he was killed. It's
exactly
like his haunted house.
Basically, yeah. Yeah. Is it really that weird? Yeah, I don't think it's that weird.
Got evaporated into that chamber with the electricity, and then he's like, now I'll just haunt this fucking carcass of a spaceship.
Yeah. And presumably it's on planet Endor as well, so maybe we'll get to see some Ewoks too.
Care less.
I love getting your casual take on Star Wars.
Be like, oh, I remember those.
I will say, The Last Jedi certainly deflated me. Even I remember as we left the theater, I'm like, I'm not sure if I liked that or not. And even still, I'm not really the biggest fan of it, but I'll be damned if I'm not going to see this on midnight release. I have to see how this saga is going to end and how it could potentially open up for the future of Star Wars.
Well, speaking of movies, I'm excited to see Endgame, and I was so pissed it wasn't this weekend.
I know.
You told me yesterday. I was like, no, it's this weekend. It's Easter weekend. You're like, no, it's next weekend.
Yeah.
And I was like, I have been getting myself so pumped to see that fucking movie, and it's not this weekend. I was very upset about that.
But we're going to end on one more small thing Star Wars related, and something that I think you'll probably like even more than the actual movies, and I showed you a preview of it, is the brand new Disney Plus show, The Mandalorian.
Ooh, I'm actually very excited about this. To me, this is borderline looks like Game of Thrones with Star Wars sound effects.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
It looks very good.
And what's really great about this is it's going to be the first ever live-action Star Wars TV show, and it's got a lot of really big names behind it. In the preview that they showed for it at Celebration unfortunately didn't make it online, but thanks to the wonderful pirates of the internet, we were able to see a preview of it on YouTube.
Someone had a cell phone, and they used it to record it. Can you believe that, Corey?
I know, it's insane.
It's like all these things have cameras on them or something.
I know, it's crazy. And what I'm really looking forward to about this, of course, is that it involves Mandalorians, which are one of the coolest type of characters in all of Star Wars. What makes them interesting, of course, they're not Jedi, they're not Sith. They're basically just really badass warriors from like I don't want to call it like a Viking-esque planet, but the entire like creed of these people is that they're war-loving, but they have a huge sense of honor.
Well, let's also say they're not just people that are good at fighting. I think they have some enhancements, and they have some the technology of the world has done things to them. Like either they're super strong because of nanomachines or some shit, or they have hypersensitive things, or their armor gives them an advantage. They're not just normal people that happen to be good at fighting. They're a warrior race. You know, like Saiyans power up every time you almost kill them. They have Super Saiyan transformation. These guys have badass technology, and they're practically the human version of Predators.
Yeah, that's always been one of the appeals of them, is basically like their armor, which, is, now that you say it, kind of Predator-esque.
Well, it kind of looks like a knight's armor, but it also has some Predator-esque things to it, because he's got like the gun on the shoulder, or the gun on the wrist, or the flamethrower wrist. He's got all those cool weapons, and that's what makes him a bigger thing. And it's just overall kind of interesting to see them give those characters, or this one Mandalorian, some depth.
Yeah.
Which is the actors in this thing are all-star.
Yeah, and they're killing it. Like the actual Mandalorian himself, and I want to say his full name because it's really cool.
Yeah.
He's being played by Jose Pedro Balmaceda Pascal.
And I don't know if you saw, but that dude did a season of Narcos, and he was fucking great in that show.
I don't think I saw.
He did
I don't
the
remember
first
him in
and
Narcos.
second season of Narcos. He did the one where it was Pablo Escobar. He was one of the Spanish cops going after Pablo. Fucking great. And then also Michael Pena did one of the seasons, but he wasn't explaining things real fast.
Yeah.
He was just a normal dude.
He's not his Ant-Man character. But this guy, Pedro Pascal, he was also in Game of Thrones as the roles of Baron Martell.
He
fought against the Mountain and got his head thoroughly crushed.
Yeah.
Which I still think is one of the best fight scenes from the entire series.
It had a lot going. It had emotion. It had back and forth, and then it had the brutal violence and everything.
Yeah, just everything about that was so memorable. But there's also a lot of other surprising actors that are in this. Werner Herzog. How did they get him? How are these sci-fi shows casually getting him to come on board?
I think, honestly, he probably is a huge fan of the Star Wars.
I'd imagine.
You would tell anyone, do you want to be in a Star Wars movie? Be like, yeah.
Yeah, who's going to fucking say no to that?
And then on top of that, we're like, well, what do you want me to do? I'm not an actor. Well, I just want you to sit in a chair and say badass shit in your voice. Oh, no problem.
They're not getting Werner to play a character. They just want Werner to be Werner.
Yeah.
Like, that's his thing. He's just got such a distinctive voice. And he's in that 7-minute preview of him, negotiating with the Mandalorian while he's going up against some stormtroopers. And it was really awesome to see him. I love his voice. It's just so infectious and cool. You could make that guy read anything, and it would sound really amazing.
And it was at this time the bears ate the man, or what was that horrible documentary?
The Grizzly Man?
It's not horrible.
It's actually not. It's actually a really well-made documentary. No, it's just the subject matter of this guy is just weird as shit.
It's borderline an unintentional comedy.
Yeah.
Like, that documentary is hilarious, sad. I just really recommend you guys go check out that documentary. What is it called again?
Grizzly Man.
Grizzly Man. It's about a gentleman whose sexuality, who knows, and he goes and lives with bears for 8 months, and it doesn't turn out good at the end.
No, not at all.
And he is a vlogger before vlogging was a thing, so he documented all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you got Werner Herzog reading his voiceover and kind of stitching the narrative all together. Yeah. And then the dude gets eaten by bears.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked.
And it's real.
Yeah, it is. It's totally real. And I just, like I said, I love Werner Herzog's voice. Like, they never make him change it, which is the best thing about him.
You ever seen Happy People? That's another one he did. That's great.
Yeah, really, really good.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, all of his work, I think, is pretty perfect. I loved his small role in Rick and Morty as Shrimply Pibbles.
Oh, yeah.
The alien who's like, I've seen people make jokes about dicks. Dicks that are small, dicks that are big. I've seen people take thermoses, put it in front of their dick and say, hey, look at me. I'm so-and-so dick.
That is such a Warner Herzog.
I know, it's so great though. I love it.
He has this weird open-ended way of like communicating. I don't know what it is, but it's great.
Oh man, and like I said, he's not the only great. Fucking Carl Weathers, Apollo Creed is going to be a part of this series, and that man just damn it, he's just so cool. He doesn't even. He just doesn't have to try to be cool. He's awesome.
I think it is. No, I'm not that into him anymore. He was cool in the '80s. Okay, he was cool in Predator.
I've always liked Carl Weathers, dude.
He was kind of cool in Happy Gilmore, but like as an action star, I don't really see that anymore.
I don't know. I think this is going to be a big role for him and a big comeback, and to see him be a part of Star Wars is great. And we're going to end it on this last guy who's going to be in this, which is maybe the most surprising. One of our favorite comedians.
Yes.
Bill Burr.
Bill Burr
is going to be in a Star Wars project.
The stand-up comedian, the creator of F is for Family, the actor in Breaking Bad. Mm-hmm. He is hilarious. And honestly, I'm just super happy for the dude because he was just a stand-up comedian that make Conan laugh on the talk shows, and now I feel like his career is really multifaceted, and I think he's doing a great job. Mm-hmm. And his podcast, what's it called? Every Monday. I'm gonna look up his podcast name.
But he has a really great it's a very
different podcast.
Yeah, it's mostly just him.
Yeah, it's just him
kind of ranting. But honestly, that's what I love I love listening to Bill Burr just rant and bitch about shit. I think that's one of the funniest things about him. He's kind of a controversial comedian too, but
Bill Burr's Monday Morning Podcast.
There we go.
And it's just him ranting. Because that's what everyone likes about Bill Burr. Yeah. Rant about something. For me, I'm not that super into it at times because he goes deep into the sports. Mm-hmm. And if you don't care about sports, I don't really care about sports. I call all sports ball. I'm like, I don't watch sports ball. And so he'll go deep into the Patriots or the Seahawks or some shit. And I'm like, fuck that. I don't care. But besides that, he's funny. He's on top of it.
Yeah. And I can't wait to see what his character is going to be like in The Mandalorian. If there's going to be still an element of, I'm sure there's going to be that kind of cocky, kind of comedic attitude about him. I mean, they're not going to use Bill Burr and make him play serious the whole time. He's playing like a gangster character, but I don't know what his ultimate role is going to be in the show, if he's going to be aiding the Mandalorian or going up against him. But man, just the fact that he's going to be a part of it is great. Just all these big name actors over the last couple of years have now started making appearances in Star Wars, and it's really opening up the universe. And like you said, who's going to turn down a Star Wars role? And I've never known Bill Burr to be like I've heard him talk about Star Wars before, but it's usually that it's like, I don't know, the Star Wars stuff, I don't know. So, yeah. Yeah,
but he also made a whole video, or someone turned one of his clips from his podcast about One Punch Man into a huge viral video.
Yeah.
So, obviously, that he makes topics relatable.
Yeah.
Because that's what comedians do. They take a topic and they look at it from a different point of view and they make it entertaining to hear about them discuss it. That's essentially what stand-up comedy is, So he has that ability to take things and get to the point quickly and make it entertaining. So I feel like if he did start liking Star Wars, he doesn't need to promote it. That shit's going to blow up anyway. But what I'm saying is, the other thing I'm actually really excited about The Mandalorian in general is that it's an episodic show. Mm-hmm. But it's not cutting back on the quality.
No, it looks like almost looks like a damn movie.
It looks like if you would have told me that was a movie, I would have totally believed it. I would have never thought it was episodic.
It kind of reminds me of the cinematography of Rogue One.
I was going to say very Rogue One-ish. It's very much that world, except hopefully not slow in the middle where I fall asleep.
Yeah. It's going to be a TV show, so there are definitely going to be some slow moments. But if it's anything as good as the 7-minute preview that I saw and a lot of the the sizzle reel stuff that they showed, I'm pumped for this, man.
Where's it coming out? Where is it playing?
November 12th should be the premiere, and it's supposed to launch the same day as Disney Plus.
Oh, fuck. Disney Plus is going to
Disney.
Why don't we talk about that for a minute? Did you even announce? Do you hear about the announcement?
Disney Plus? Dude, I'm signing up for it.
Okay.
Just because of Mandalorian. That is what has got me on board.
Maybe you can share that password with me like I give you my Netflix one.
I think I will do that. The good thing is Disney Plus is cheap.
It's $6.
$6. It's $70 a year. That is a freaking steal for.
That's like a video game and a half.
Exactly, and it's every piece of Disney content and more of all the other different companies that Disney owns. So you're going to get everything. You're going to get original programming. All types of new Marvel shows are going to be coming out.
Doesn't Disney own Fox now?
They do. Every season of The Simpsons is now at your beck and call. You can watch anything, man.
This is really actually going to be a Netflix competitor.
Oh, it's going to crush.
Because Hulu, Amazon, that's just good.
Yeah, but it's just not competing with Netflix.
But this is the only one I think.
Netflix, I think, is going to have to change the way they do things. I've heard a lot of people say they're going to double down on anime material, which they have been lately.
Yeah, like that's their way to battle Disney. I saw a video with the title "Netflix is battling Disney with anime."
Yeah,
and
I believe it. But they're also going to have more original programming. I think they should focus more on TV shows than movies because their movies suck.
Oh, Netflix?
Yeah.
I love their episodic stuff way more, too.
Yeah.
I don't know if their movies suck. I never saw Bird Box or whatever that was.
I don't have much of an opinion on it.
But it's got Sandra Bullock. Everyone loves Sandra Bullock.
Why?
Because she was famous once.
I liked her in Speed. That's about it.
Well, it didn't work when
Miss
they got
Congeniality.
No! That's when she's cashing it in.
That's when she's cashing it in. I don't know. Bird Box, all that shit. All I know is Disney Plus is about to reinvent the whole streaming process. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure a few years from now, they'll probably increase the price. But for now, it's an absolute steal. If you have kids, you gotta get it. I mean, you'll keep them entertained all the damn time, especially younger kids.
How are we supposed to pirate in the future when we don't want to pay for things?
I don't know, man.
Will there be a way?
We'll have to learn.
We'll have to pay. That's what it'll be. Look, man. What's cable? I don't know because I don't pay for it, but I'm assuming cable's like $40 a month.
It can be that or more.
Well, if you get all the packages, but I'm saying
but I mean, you can get it as low as 40 or less. Possibly.
So like, let's say it's $45.
Yeah,
and then you get Amazon Prime, which is $10 a month because I think it's $100 a year. Mm-hmm. So we'll say it's like $10 a month. Yeah, and then you get Netflix, which is like 9 or 12.
9 to 12 now.
Yeah, because if you want the high end 4K
you
Netflix,
you can get that. Netflix and Disney Plus all for less of a cable package.
Even Hulu, I think.
Even Hulu.
Yeah, and okay, but it's when there's more than 4 that you have to pay for, you're actually not getting a deal.
Yeah, so I think you can I think you can get a lot with just 2 personally. Like Netflix and Disney Plus, that's all I'm going to need.
Plus some YouTube. Like if you got a smart TV and you get YouTube on your TV.
That's it.
What else
The only thing you might be missing out on is if you do like to watch sports.
Sports is stupid.
I disagree, but
there we go.
That's a topic for another day. But hey, let's go ahead and wrap it up here. I thought this was a really great show. I'm glad we got to talk about the new Dragon Ball, which is really exciting stuff, and of course Star Wars. Of course, we'd love to get your opinions on all of this stuff. What did you guys think of the latest chapter of Dragon Ball Super? What do you hope to see in the battle between Majin Buu and Moro? Tell us your thoughts and theories in the comments section. And are you excited for the Rise of Skywalker, the Mandalorian, and all the brand new Disney Plus content that's going to be coming down the pipeline? Leave all those thoughts. Comment section below. Christian, you got anything else for us?
No.
All right. Well, there it is, guys. Thanks for watching Powerful Nerdcast. We'll see you next time.